Now I know that made me manager and I got denied manager of Keller Williams today.
Oh, boy.
Very quickly. I think Tara was in the office going, oh no.
Oh, no.
But anyhow.
Okay, now I have to figure out how to share I gotta figure out how to share my screen so they can see my slides. Like, they should be able to see me right now, which means this should show up. There we go. This is the recording of what we just had a conversation about. So this is us watching the live stream, not us live streaming.
I don't know.
Oh boy, I hate doing this, but here we go.
Why?
They should be able to see me right now. This should show up.
I'm having to there. I don't.
This is the recording of what we just had a conversation about.
And you won't be able to do that till you.
So this is us watching live streams. It's live streaming now.
But you know,
You take the biggest, is definitions the biggest part of the license, what do you think is?
It's been 15 years, I swear.
It's not, they use the definitions.
Okay. Well, I feel bad, guys, but I don't know that we're gonna be able to do this. Or screen sharing, okay.
And how was I gonna go and is it slow?
Okay. Well, I feel bad, guys, but I don't know that we're gonna be able to.
How many candles go on?
Well, there's probably a couple of that.
No,
Yeah.
maybe this is right. I might have figured this out. I might have cracked the code. If not, we're gonna say that I should have been able to. Oh,
Are there other people that are
success.
out there watching?
They're watching this whole nonsense of me not being able to figure this out. It's really great.
And then it's okay, all we can see is, I've never watched you all on there, but it's too long.
I don't know what.
It's been that small the whole time. I can't enlarge it and see.
Maybe this is right.
PowerPoint.
I might have figured this out. I might have. Nope. I don't know how to track the code. I don't know how to do that now. Nailed it. Okay.
Is it lacking behind or is that?
You know, I don't know. Let's
ask her. Let's ask her.
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. What I do know is that we're gonna plan your future. That's exciting today.
That's fun.
Thank you, because I need my plan.
Do you?
Yes, thank you.
Well, I always, when it comes time to teaching that, wants to teach this session. Because this session, in my opinion, anyway, is one of the sessions that it is truly instrumental in your life. All the other stuff, cool, yeah, you're gonna build a great business. You're going to be able to have repeatable systems. You're going to teach yourself how to really create habits that you need. But this one is about projecting. This one is about who you're going to be and setting yourself up for who you need to be to get the things you need. Okay?
Yes.
So before we dive in, let's talk about your success systems. What challenges did anyone encounter with their success system?
I have the challenge of understanding that it can be different from other houses.
Yeah. Okay. So you had a challenge of maybe thinking outside the box in terms of the actual activities.
Like what a contact meant.
Yeah. When we hear contact, we think phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, contact doesn't have to be a phone call, right? Contact can be any form of a two-way communication. So I don't, obviously, I believe that nose to nose and toes to toes is actually probably your greatest form of contact. And even greater than a phone call. But if I can't be right in front of someone, right, the next best step is making that phone call. And if I can't make that phone call and connect with them, then the next best step is text message, right? We're forming that two-way communication. And then if I can't get them via text message, the next best step is email. There you go. And why is email at the bottom of that list?
You don't know if they look at it.
You don't have to look at it. Guys, I don't know if you just saw when I was trying to figure all this stuff out. You guys saw my email box that popped up? Do you know how many emails I have in my email box?
14,000. That's only one account. No, I'm sorry, we have the 11 monthly flat. Yeah, so you're correct.
In just my KW account, I have 2,388 as of this morning.
They get
Oh,
lost.
thank God, I never found them one.
Yeah. I get no less than 90 emails a day.
You and I.
Thank you.
No less.
Yeah.
I don't. Because surely I prioritize. I don't get through all of them.
Some people text you if we.
I mean, and I can tell you that if you think that you're gonna get through that every single email that comes into you every single day, you'll never get any work done.
Right.
If you're one of those people that the little red bubble, right, with the number on it drives you crazy, you have to have that at nothing. Guys. Ooh, you are in for a rude awakening. You are just gonna have to learn to roll with it, because there are gonna be days that red bubble with that number in it on your phone goes from one day to the next because you just simply couldn't get through them. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay. And you want to make sure that you're prioritizing and not missing the good stuff, right? So understand that every day I have time blocked on my calendar what I call warm up time. It is a half an hour. Okay? A half an hour for warm up. That is when my warm up time is when I sit down at my computer and I go through my emails and I prioritize what's important to get back to. Okay? Now, you're also going to see, if you look at my time blocked calendar, that I have a very similar half an hour at the end of the day. My cool down time is the second time I check my email that day. That's it. I'm going to check it in the morning and I'm going to check it at night. Anything comes in during the middle of the day, I'll get back to you at the end of the night.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah.
Cause I do, I feel like I have to respond to the title company immediately. You're correct. I just feel there's a, thank you.
Anything that comes in overnight, you get responded to in the morning. Anything that comes in anytime during the day, you get responded to at night. Like it's cyclical. And so that's why I always tell you guys, if you're in my productivity coaching program, call, text, and email in that order every single time if you're trying to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Call, text, email in that order every single time. Because if my phone rings, I'm probably gonna answer it. If there's a text message that comes in, this is a prime example. My phone is over here. And yeah, the next time I look at my phone, I'll see that text message. But I'm probably not gonna respond to it immediately, right? And like I just told you, that if I'm standing here right now, I'm not responding to anything until just before I leave to go home. Okay?
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you give yourself permission to not feel tied to that, right? Sometimes we just need to write ourselves a permission slip to not focus on the things that are that 80%. Right? Because if it was really important, they wouldn't send the email, they'd call you. Please understand that.
Some realtors don't call an offer and they tell you it's on its way, and you really wanna see what it is, cause
Yeah.
your sellers are sitting there waiting to.
Yeah.
So I guess it does, so we can't give ourselves permission to make.
Yeah.
They don't always, trust me.
Well,
So thank you very much for that. for permissions.
Well,
You
thank
have
you for
permission, that'd be
confirming-
perfect. There you
Thank
go.
you for confirming what I do.
Perfect. I'm glad I get out.
Maybe when we have active things, then it's morning, noon, and night.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then I learn lots into coffee, but nice.
So today is your final day of Ignite.
Yes, I know. No offense, I love every moment of it, but I'll be thankful when it's over.
Yeah,
It's been very cumbersome.
yeah, it's been a lot to take in.
Yeah, 2 hours out of your day.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm trying to drive it.
there's a method behind that madness. Do you know how many sessions you've sat through?
20.
20. How many days does it take to build a habit?
20.
21,
10.
21 days. It takes 21 days to build a habit.
So
So there's a reason that we do this for as long as we do this, at the time that we do this. Because if you read our Magical Red Book, it actually says that you should build the habit of being focused on working in your business in the morning. So that way you can spend your afternoons working out there, right?
on
You're going out there and you're now spending that time going on appointments and you're meeting with customers and you're doing all of that stuff outside the office. Okay? So this was all about building this habit of focusing on the morning and doing the work. For those of you that are interested, there is an excellent book called The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. If you have not read it, I recommend you read it. It's going to teach you how to structure your day. If you're in my productivity coaching program, I actually have a copy of it in our resource library that you're welcome to check out. Okay? But it will, if you allow it to, change the way you focus on your business.
the miracle morning.
The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. There's one for many different like professions, but this one is specifically for real estate agents. Okay? Yeah, it's a good book. Yeah. So it's this Ignite program though should have really given you the foundation to build a big business. And today we're gonna look back and we're gonna look forward. So there's gonna be a little bit of each that happens, okay? We're gonna discuss finances and having smart business money. Okay? Yes, we're gonna talk about that dirty word, money. I don't know if you were raised the way I was, but my parents always told me to never, ever, ever ask somebody how much money they make. You never, ever, ever tell anyone how much money you make. But then again, it was a different world, right? My parents also taught me you never talk about politics, and yet here we are in 2026. Right? That's all we do. All right, so by the end of the day today, you should be able to understand the importance. Come on, do the thing I want you to do. No? No? There we go. There we go. By the end of the day, you should be able to understand the importance of running a smart money business to achieve a successful business. You should be able to review the success system to understand wins and opportunities. And you should also be able to identify learning paths available to design your future plan at KW. What I want you to know more than anything, and I hope you've gotten this out of what we've learned in Ignite, is that what we've taught you here is transferable to absolutely any business you want to run. There's a reason why our tagline is KW is where entrepreneurs thrive. Okay? We want to teach you the foundation to run a good business, whether it's selling houses, it's selling widgets, it's selling leggings. I don't care what you're selling. Okay? This is good business. You don't have to like it. It's just the facts. Okay? So we're going to set our sights on a big future. So there's a line in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It says to have a better chance of hitting a target, you have to aim high. Aiming high begins with thinking big. And that's what we're gonna most today's session is gonna be about. All right. How you think matters. How you think in the beginning really matters. That's the quote from Gary Keller. So when we say that thinking matters, we're talking about mindset, aren't we? And we're also going to be talking about our relationship with money. When I say relationship with money, what I mean by that is that when you think about being rich, how does that make you feel?
Stressed.
Stressed.
Less stress.
Less stress. Less stress. Okay.
Yeah.
When you think about being rich, how does that make you feel?
Secure.
Secure?
Safe.
Say
More stressed.
more stress. There you go. No, I love the honesty. That's absolutely right. More stress.
I feel abundant, like what am I gonna do with it?
Okay.
I give away to people.
So there's a little pressure of how do you do the right thing with it,
Yes, that's
right? I'll be honest with you, when I first started in real estate, when I thought about the idea of having a lot of money, it felt kind of gross. And I had to come to grips with that. Between my coach and my therapist, we had lots of conversations about that. Okay. But what I realized is it was because from a young age, I was, and all of us were, programmed to think about money in kind of a negative connotation. Right? Think back to every Saturday morning cartoon you ever watched.
Richie Richie.
Yeah. But who was the bad guy in town? They were trying to fight. Lex Luthor. Right? Remember who he was? The rich guy, right? They were always the evil rich guy, that had their lair somewhere that they were trying to take down. Scrooge? Yeah. We were trained from a young age that having money equaled you were bad.
That's interesting, that I heard about.
So there's a reason that sometimes we allow our mindset to stop us from getting the money we could get. Because subconsciously we say to ourselves, if I have this, I'm bad. Or the people who have that are bad. Think of, some of the people that we have positioned in the world as having lots of money. When you say names like Bill Gates, people wrinkle their nose. And yet, look at what he's been able to do in terms of charity and giving back to the world. But we don't think about that piece of it, right? Not everyone does. Not everyone does. You're absolutely right. So, I want you guys to think about that today and have an honest gut check about your relationship with money. And ask yourself, does your mindset stop you from achieving the things you want to achieve? Okay? Because it's all within your control. Your mind does not control you unless you allow it. Okay? So, ask yourself about your mind, in terms of your mindset, do you feel aligned with your heart? Does your mind feel aligned with your heart?
Do you mean about money or just your mindset?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Okay? And are you ready to do the actions needed to have the successful business? Because there are some times that, I'll be honest, I say to people, okay, this is what it's going to take to have a successful business. And they go, that's gross. I'm not going to do that. Why? Why not? Well, I'm not going to do that because that's not what I do. Right? That's a mindset issue. You've told yourself that there's something yucky about that thing, whatever that thing is, whether it's knocking on a door, whether it's cold calling someone, you have created a negative connotation, and it doesn't mean it exists. It's a story we've told ourselves, right? What are some ways that since you've maybe started Ignite that you've already adjusted your thinking?
I was raised with the idea that we don't ask people for things.
Oh, okay.
Take care of our own. And I mean, I'm talking like it was ground into my head.
Mm-hmm.
So starting Ignite made me start thinking about everybody I know and what I can do for them as a realtor, as opposed to, oh my God, I bothered them. Or I'll be asking them for money or whatever. It's
So
more
you
like-
see, you had your mindset was that asking for business was asking for money,
Right,
but asking for business isn't asking for money, is it?
no,
There you
and
go.
that's where it's helped me change my mindset.
And I would take it one step further to say, even if you are asking for money, why is that gross?
If you're offering a high level of service in return to be paid, and unfortunately, in the, my career and with every training, nobody has ever put it into context. That resonated with me enough. That you're offering a high level of service, you're gonna be paid, so it's not, you're asking for business in return for something of great value.
That's right.
Right.
But nobody ever put it in that. And so I was raised as Carol, you don't ask. And as you, we don't talk about money, we don't talk
Oh,
about
no.
politics. And so therefore,
We're not talking about religion.
so I have had, my mindset has kept me from picking up the phone and lead generating because I felt like I was asked.
Right.
And
Okay.
Yeah, and when you said the other day that, what if they're waiting for that call, what if they need help and they don't need the call?
100%.
And that
You're
helped
welcome.
me to realize.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. That's
Open
how
door.
it changed my
Yeah.
mindset is to be, I'm offering them something to help them as opposed to getting them to give me
That's
something.
good. It's good.
I've learned that this doesn't have to consume my whole life, that I can set limits.
Yeah.
That what I'm doing is enough, and
I think
I don't have to keep. I mean, there are areas to grow and change, but I can have limits and say, this is my career and this is my life.
Yes.
And if it doesn't happen as fast as I want it to happen, that doesn't necessarily. It is what it is.
Right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Maybe like,
So add that to your book on page 20.3. You're gonna see where you can write down some ways that this has adjusted your thinking. So that when you leave Ignite and you start to gain those bad habits again, because you will. You will. When you start to gain those bad habits again, you can look back at this book and you can remember what you were taught. Okay. If you think you won't look back on this, you're crazy. I can tell you, I have my book from 11 years ago that was out on my desk on Friday. I was looking through. Okay. So you will keep looking back to it. Now I'm going to ask you in terms of what we just talked about, how your mindset has adjusted, how does that align with our belief system, the Y4C2Ts? Along with our 6 personal perspectives, because remember you learned that in the very beginning, the 6 personal perspectives. And now we know our belief system, and now our mindset has changed. How does our new mindset align with this?
Here's a page, it's on a lot of. Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind.
There you go.
I love that teamwork is valid here, like.
Yeah.
And I know you're talking about working with the customer, but,
Oh no, I'm absolutely not talking about working with customers. here.
okay,
No,
okay.
we are a team, guys. At KW, we are a team.
Yes.
And I value your honesty, so to trust starts with honesty.
which is something that has to be earned.
Yeah.
And you want your clients to eventually trust you.
That's right.
Building that. The teamwork, I tell everyone at the end of the day, my fiduciary duty is to my clients, but I also, we are all getting on the same team. We're heading towards the same goal.
Yeah.
We're not competing together, so let's try to make this as easy and I care about the other parties as well. We need to be kind and compassionate with them.
I like the equity opportunities for all, on both sides, like, people. Let me think about it, there's enough opportunities for everyone, so we don't have to be mean, and then.
No, that's so true, because that's not normal in our industry.
And then people, all people deserve the opportunity for homeownership, I feel like, so
Yeah,
it's not just for some.
is it fair to say that there is a stigma out there maybe in the real estate world? Where we feel like if I share with someone, that means there's less for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree, there is.
Yeah, there's a feeling out there like that. Guys, real estate's not pie. By giving you a slice, it doesn't mean I get less. Instead, what it means is by giving you a slice, my pie might have actually gotten bigger.
Value in both directions.
There's value in both directions. Okay? So if you're ever encountering somebody that says, well, I'm not gonna help you, because if I help you and I show you how I did this, then you're gonna do it too, and I'm gonna get less pie. Essentially, that is a mindset issue of theirs. And please send it to me. I'll be happy to have this conversation with them.
Good luck with that.
Because I will be honest with you that it's not simply not how we do business here. It's not part of the KW culture. Our culture is about handing out pie. Right? And handing out our slice. All right, so now let's jump back to your original value proposition. So a little while ago, remember I talked to you guys about your value proposition. I taught the class on your value proposition. Remember that? Where you wrote down how you are different. It was, I believe, session 4. About how you are different and how you are going to bring new and different value to the real estate industry and to your customer. Okay? And you all looked at me, I remember in session 4, like I was crazy, like I had like an arm growing out of my forehead or something, when I said, you're not like every other realtor out there. And you were like, how am I absolutely any different whatsoever? Well, it's because you all have unique value systems and belief systems of your own. Right? And this is why we call it a value proposition as well. There's a connection between your values and the value you bring to customers and to the industry. Right? So ask yourself, does my value proposition truly reflect who I am, the value I bring, and the benefit my clients will experience working with me? Think about what you wrote down there, look at it, and ask yourself, are there any refinements that need to be made to that? And am I confident sharing my value proposition with my contacts? And if not, how can I make it easier to express my value? Think hard about that, guys. Do you feel confident about sharing the value with your customers? And if you're questioning that right now, ask yourselves why. Where's the disconnect? Is it your mindset? Is it clarity around your values? Or is it misunderstanding about the values that KW has? Okay? What?
You have a question. What's your son saying?
Henry.
What's a question?
Oh, here's a question.
He
Hi.
is adorable.
Oh, yes, you can have a cup. Yeah. He's stealing one of your graduation cupcakes. That's what's happening right now.
Oh, I've already done Laffy Taffy. I had to do Laffy Taffy because he wanted me to try it.
Good. I mean, he tries to make conversation with us.
And he's brilliant. He's fun to hang out with.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have done a wonderful job. He's an amazing guy.
Just well
Thank
made. It's me.
Well, I appreciate
I
that.
hated it, because I couldn't, I wanted to this morning. And he kept saying, are you still working on that? Unfortunately.
Yes, I am. I do try to help him create boundaries because he's not always.
He's got great boundaries. At his age, he was so respectful this morning, because we hung for a while, but anyhow, love it.
He's a good kid. He is a good kid.
Very good.
But I will tell you, do you think I don't pound all of this stuff into his head?
Oh, it's
He's gonna
obvious.
be a realtor when he grows.
Oh, no, he won't. He will not be a realtor, I can guarantee you. He's way too creative for that. This would drive him crazy. But what I will say is he's gonna have leadership skills.
Mhm.
And as his mom, my job is to simply refine that, point him in the right direction so that he ends up, leading a Fortune 5 company and not a gang in prison. There we go.
Well, leadership.
Actions.
I was gonna say, leadership is leadership, he's developing better. I do the same thing with my niece. I was a therapist. And sometimes I say you need to major in counseling and she says, why? I already have learned it.
Oh, my dad tried to get me to get into sales when I graduated high school. Go to school for business and sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to college and got a theater degree. I was like, not me, never. I'm never gonna be in sales. Here we are.
Never say no.
Yet I can tell you got a theater degree.
Yeah.
Revisit.
All right, so let's go back to session 1.
Okay.
Look back in time to session 1. So session 1 is where you envisioned your big life for yourself. You probably wrote something there about your vision for your future and your big life. I want you to reread what you wrote.
Where do you think we're at on that one?
Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Your big life,
Yeah.
1.16.
1.16. There we go. Go back.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
1.16.
Awesome.
There we go.
Thank you.
Your big life.
Here we go.
There we go.
Thank you for that.
1.16.
Thanks, Renee.
Okay, so reread what you wrote there. And then ask yourself, is there anything you'd change after this 4 weeks?
I did it in a hurry. I'm gonna have to find a new vehicle soon enough at 20,000. Can't wait to go shopping for a $20,000.
You got it
vehicle.
right.
That's what I'm just looking at it going, okay.
I read an article this week and used cars. I see that.
They have come down some, but it's tough to buy, to find a
Yes.
good,
It is.
and I don't want.
I must have dreamed big because I wouldn't change it.
You wouldn't change anything. Okay. How about you guys? Are you thinking big enough?
I must have made mine really big.
Are you thinking big enough? Yeah, you think so?
Can I read one that I wrote?
Yeah.
This was on my vision. People know me and my farm and they smile when they see me. Yesterday was amazing.
Yeah.
No, my farm meeting yesterday was amazing. They're like, oh, so good to see you. And like,
You're starting to become a regular.
yes.
I had my coach one time told me that the goal of farming is to be the regular at the bar and they are all the bartenders. Right?
Yeah.
Because when you're a regular at the bar, you walk in and the bartender's excited to see you. They know you're there for business, but they're excited to see you.
And like,
They want to know about your life.
people who wouldn't tell me their names, they're like, oh, I've done that. Like, it's so.
Now that they figured out that you're not, they go, you need to sell your.
Or that I'm coming back and not just some random.
Right.
You're not going away.
I'm not
That's right.
like,
Is your model, may I hate to ask this, something that has come through PC coaching? Because yes, Beth, of course, now
Yeah.
I'm gonna review the PC coaching. Now that we've gone through it, God, I couldn't be
Fair
the whole
enough.
thing.
the first day,
Or
went over some models and you have to do 4 of them and she said farming is free.
Okay, where did you find the models, may I ask?
There's a farm model hanging on the wall.
Yeah, there's a farm
I
model
read
on the wall in my office.
It's playbooks.
I read the models.
The playbooks and models, the same thing?
Similar, yeah. But the playbooks were written off the model.
MREA.
Okay.
MREA.
Listen to MREA. It'll tell you all about it.
All the models are in there.
It's amazing.
My goal in productivity as a coach, my goal is to help her refine focus.
Yes, you gave me things to say at the door and it worked.
Yeah, things to say at the door, to also help her envision the next steps. And to make sure that we're pointing her in the direction of those goals.
And capture.
Because it's
more.
real easy to, if the goal is in the distance, it's real easy to change the trajectory now. It's much easier than when we get closer
Well, and
to something,
Right.
right? And we gotta make a much bigger change,
Right.
just a tweak,
And just
We
tweak
can
it
get
to
you
the
there.
beginning.
right? My goal is to see that and to help you see that.
Awesome.
I wrote down in the first unit, you can, it goes along with it, you cannot control the first thought you have, you can acknowledge the thought and change your perspective.
Yeah.
I wrote that down for the very, that really hit me, that on all this, we just change our perspective.
Change our perspective, yeah.
Somebody gave me a tip one time, you can buy all these little plastic bracelets and there's all kinds of little sayings on them. And when a negative thought came into their mind, they moved that bracelet to the other arm. This was your positive arm, this was your negative.
Yeah.
And so it was just a reminder, when that negative thought came, they would move the bracelet in because they had to readjust their mindset.
Julie, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, anyhow,
I didn't finish all of it.
different ways to come up, but it's a matter of when it comes into your mind. Nip it in the bud.
We came in the beginning, like you said.
Tweak it at the beginning, right?
Right.
So in order to have a big life that you envision for yourself, you really do have to be realistic though, right? You have to be realistic about your income, you have to be more specifically realistic about profit goals and all of those other things. And yet we can't be realistic if we don't know where we are. Right? So this goes back to, are we high achievers now? Okay, are we pushing ourselves in this moment to be high achievers so we can have that super big life? Because if we're not doing that, we're not gonna get there. We can't sit here and not be pushing ourselves, but have this dream for this super big life. And aiming high, okay? So we introduced the concept of your big why on day one. Day one, you heard this from us, right? So moving forward after Ignite, it's essential to have a clear picture of your big why. It's gonna keep you motivated and on track to meet your goals. And for those of you once again in coaching, today your workout of the day is all about motivation. Okay? But understand that it's your purpose, your mission, or need that gives you focus. Okay? So the one thing that all high achievers have in common is they are working for a big why. The big why is about having a purpose, a mission, and a need that in turn gives you focus. Okay? So ask yourself, have you gotten more clarity on your big why?
Mhm.
Do you understand why you're doing this? And if you're still questioning whether or not you have maybe focused or refined your big why in the way you wanted to, let's talk about what this means. Okay? Your big why has to be something that's important to you. It has to be the thing that gets you out of bed every morning, gets you excited. And I'm not saying you have to be one of those psychos that like gets out of bed and is like, I love going to work today. It's my greatest joy. Like, please, I'm not asking for any of those things. Okay? Because that's also not authentic. There will simply always be days that you are tired. And tired is okay. Right? But your big why is the thing that pushes you past the tired and makes you do the work anyway. Okay? It's the thing that brings you energy, brings you focus. And you may not know this, but your big why is actually already present in your life, even if you haven't really thought about it. There's a reason you got your real estate license. There's a reason that you decided that you were gonna wake up every day unemployed. Because by the way, that's what real estate is, right? It's a choice to wake up every day unemployed and bet on yourself every single morning.
Wow.
All right?
Mhm.
You are going out there and you're interviewing for jobs every day. Every customer you speak with, you are interviewing with. So if you don't have a big why that's big enough, it's real easy to not do this. It's really easy to just go and interview one time and get a job and get your paycheck. Okay? Your big why is whatever drives you. That's my big why, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Henry. Hi. All right. So your big why should incorporate all the people in your life and the good that you can provide for them by doing this kind of crazy thing. Okay. I always say, you don't have to be crazy to be in real estate, but it certainly helps. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's good to know.
And if you're not already, trust me, you will.
I was gonna say,
But it's
it's good to know, because I'm kind of crazy, I'm glad I picked the right people.
Now turn to page 2025 in your book. You're gonna see that there are some questions there. About your big why. What topics? So get clear on what matters to you. Okay, I want you to get clear on what matters to you in your, whether it be in your business or in your life. What matters to you? What topics or causes are most important to you? What gives you energy and fuels you personally? What is something that you would do even if you were not paid? Even if you never got a paycheck again? What is something you would do?
Will I have money? I would donate it to others. I would donate to others.
Yeah. Something I would do, even if I were not paid, is this. I don't get paid to do this. Teaching you Ignite classes, I don't get paid for this. Okay? I do this because I love this. I do this because I know this matters in people's lives. And I know this is what makes an impact long term in your business and your lives.
It's just like us, she doesn't get paid.
I don't get a salary.
She has no salary. You have no salary?
Nope.
Do you sell real estate?
Nope. And I don't sell real estate.
So you're taking in us. So your PC coaching was based on that's selling them.
Based on how well you do. So my investment is in you, and I structured that way purposefully to not impact your profit share in this business. I don't want my salary to come out of that profit. Instead, I only want to make money when you do. That's it.
So you're as crazy as we are.
I'm a psycho.
But-
Okay, like that's fine.
But you have extreme confidence in your models and what you're teaching us. I like that. So that's wonderful. That's your big why there on that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, Beth. I do, because you are quite amazing. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we've done that I would do for not being paid. I help take care of so many people who are such a.
We take care of people in our lives, right? And we're not paid for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
me too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot. But when I stated earlier, money stresses me out as you get older. And, things don't impress me much. The more you have, the more you have to maintain and care for, and it robs you of time
Publicity.
Mhm.
and simplicity. I moved to the country 3 years ago, slowly way down. Went from turbo to literally put the air brakes on. It's been nice.
Well, and honestly, I'm the same way. Like as I've gotten older, at first I thought I wanted the big fancy house. Right? And when I lived in Florida, we had this big fancy 3-car garage, 3,000 square foot plus home, huge yard, the largest yard in the neighborhood, all of the things and all of this stuff. And what I realized was that's a heck of a lot to take care of.
Yes,
Right? You know what I actually wanted? I actually wanted simplicity so I could focus on the things that matter.
Right.
So when we moved here, I said to my realtor, do not show me anything over 2,500 square feet. And I don't want anything that I couldn't mow the lawn in like 45 minutes. Okay, he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't want a big yard, you don't want acres, you don't want lawn, you don't want all of this stuff. And I said, absolutely not, that sounds like a nightmare. I want none of that.
Right.
I wanna focus on the things that actually matter, which is spending time with my kiddo. He's only 10 years old one time,
Living life, not going to go.
okay? I don't want it, no, I don't want a garden, that sounds awful.
Oh, I love a garden.
I don't.
I'm stuck on that.
Don't wanna garden, I don't wanna do that, I don't want tons of floors I have to, maintain meticulously. I don't care if there's perfect tile work and grout, that just sounds like something I have to seal and take care of, that's all.
You figured it out at a very young age, so many don't.
I don't know how young you think I am, but thank you.
You've got great
You're
teeth.
obviously younger than me.
I just had a kid at an old age. Alright, so. Our big why powers our big life, I think we know that. And it helps us to say yes to what's important and to say no to the things that just really aren't. Okay? If you can take anything out of this section of today, I want you to take away that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't have to explain why when you tell someone no. You can just simply say no.
Or that doesn't work.
You know what? It doesn't work for me.
Since my mother-in-law uses the line, I'll take it under prayerful consideration.
I
I love that.
Oh my God, I love that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I remember when I was first in real estate, I thought that the only way to earn business was to say yes to everything. Right? I had to say, I couldn't let anyone down. I had to say yes to everything in the market center. I had to say yes to everything that a customer threw at me. I had to say yes to everything within my board, whether it be classes or mixers or whatever. I had to keep saying yes, and I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted. And I'll never forget my coach. He literally grabbed me by the shoulders and he went, "Just say no."
Mhm.
Yes.
And I said, "But what if?" He goes, "Yeah, what if? What if you let them down? What's gonna happen?"
Yes,
And he goes, his exact words to me were, "How arrogant do you have to be to think your attendance matters that much?
Yeah,
that's
ooh,
good.
that's good.
Say it again.
I like
How arrogant do you have to be to think your attendance matters that much?" And I went, oh, I don't think I've ever had anyone speak to me that way before.
Yeah, boy, that's good.
Right?
It's like having people talk about you. Really? I mean, do you think they're gonna talk? Why would they pick you out of hundreds of thousands of millions of people they can talk about?
Right.
So just ignore it.
People don't care that much about you, unfortunately, guys. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, right? Alright, what are some ahas that you've taken away from the things we've talked about, your big why?
A lot, man, this was good stuff.
Help refocus on what is important and all of this craziness that's been happening.
This is craziness, it's insane. You said we don't have to be crazy, but it helps.
We're all different, we all have different goals, we need to focus on our goals, what wakes us up in the morning and what makes us really wanna go to bed is what I've always done.
Yeah.
So, I love to get up, I don't know if I'll ever wanna retire, I love to work, I love to serve. And
Yeah.
that makes me great, yeah.
I remember my dad, he's retired twice from two different companies. He's worked in each company long enough to retire, and both times he thought he was ready to retire. When he retired.
I did the same. I retired and 5 months later, it's like but
Yeah, he went right back to work. And the last time that he retired was about 10 years ago. And I remember because I was pregnant at his retirement party. I remember saying to him, I go, "Is this one gonna stick?" And he just laughed and said, "Probably not." Like, and it didn't.
And that's.
He went into business with my brother and they opened a series of really successful Ace Hardware stores in northern Michigan.
I mean, there were so many hours in the day when you retire that you have nothing to do. I mean, you can fill it full of volunteer work, which was wonderful.
Mhm.
But there's just nothing to do for 16 hours a day when you retire.
Yeah. And when you start thinking about retirement and you start thinking about running a really smart business so you can run it for your whole life. Right? And you can be a person who's in their later years and still finding the business fulfilling. I bet you guys are thinking about how excited you are about accounting and taxes and all of that stuff. I'm just kidding, you're not excited.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
did I hear you wrong?
No, you didn't hear me wrong, you're not, but guess what, it's the truth. It all comes with all of it.
Yes,
Right?
it does.
So understand that we have to set up our businesses really smart so that later in life, when all of that other stuff is still a reality, we have not put ourselves in a position where it has become our downfall.
Exactly.
More people get out of real estate because they don't understand this piece than anything else. The finances piece. I don't know how many real estate agents I have talked to who are on the brink of running, screaming from the industry. And I go, let me see your P&L sheet. Let me see how you're spending your money. And they go, what's a P&L sheet? To which I nearly throw up. It's your profit and loss statement.
Yes.
Are you running a business? Every business has to have it. Well, apparently not. Because they don't all have it. In fact, very few agents do. So we're going to begin with some financial knowledge, and don't worry, you do not have to be an accountant or a tax advisor to understand this. It's just things you need to know. And I'm going to say always consult with experts, and I'm not one of those. Okay?
Okay.
So consult with an expert on this stuff, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way. Okay? First and foremost, do you remember these? Your 6 jobs, your core competencies? We're going to be talking about number 6, which is manage the money. You're going to get paid to help buyers and sellers transact. In fact, that's the only thing that makes you a professional real estate agent. What is the difference between an amateur and a professional in anything that you do? It's paycheck. That's the only difference. The only difference between an amateur football player and somebody that's in the NFL is that contract for money, am I right? It's the only difference. You can be just as talented and make no money. The only difference between an amateur actor that's maybe working in a regional theater somewhere and somebody on Broadway is once again that contract for money, right? Cool. Getting paid is the difference between amateur and professionals. So when you are doing things in your business, I want you to ask yourself, am I setting myself up to be an amateur or a professional? Am I setting myself up to be an amateur or a professional? Because professionals set themselves up to be able to manage the money. They set themselves up to be able to make money. So let's talk about where your commission dollars go. So we all know that the real estate industry is different than literally any other industry because you're not getting a salary, right? In fact, there are a lot of industries that are still sales positions that have some sort of a base salary and you're going to make a commission. We are completely commission based. So that's check you get upon closing, does not go in your pocket and spent. There will be expenses to pay. And the ever present taxes that must be saved for. Okay? So, who remembers where the commission goes? About a third goes to your market center to cover company dollar, royalties, franchise royalties, and fees. Okay, about a third.
Depending on the commission split, I mean, you guys have a nice little cap, so if you're a high earner, it's a drop in the bucket.
Well, yeah, you might get to 100%, right?
That's plan.
Okay, another third is gonna go back to cover marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, anything else that it takes to actually run your business, right? Oh, and don't forget, you gotta save to pay tax. So, oh, I forgot.
Thank you for that one. That really does put it in perspective.
Finally, you get money in your pockets. But that sliver of money you get in your pocket, it's really easy to also just run out and spend that. Right? And to not run our lives on a budget. We talk big game about running our businesses on a budget, but how many of us run our lives on a budget? How many of us actually budget for how much money we're going to spend on groceries? How many of us budget for how much money we're going to spend on things like personal hygiene care, like our hair, our nails, facials, massages, depending, Botox, depending on how much high maintenance you are, right? How many of you budget for things like clothing? Because guess what? You have to buy it, right? You can't go naked, guys. I mean, you could, it's a different industry, but we can't go naked. So instead, we have to budget for it, and we just don't ever think to put those things in the budget. We budget for our mortgage, we probably budget even for our utilities, we budget for that stuff, but we don't budget for that running through the McDonald's drive-thru. And the pennies add up. The $10 here, the $7 coffee, the $60 at the J. Crew outlet sale because everything was 50% off, and I say this because this is what I do. Okay. This is who I am myself. Okay, I get it. And it's real easy, especially in today's world, to point and click. And the money's gone. Point and click, point and click, point and click.
Yeah, me and Amazon.
Yeah. So you've got to always put money away for your taxes first. And agents who do not have this habit have ended up with huge tax bills in the end. And that's only a slice of it.
I think we did a class where it was broken down in percentages.
Yeah.
You know those numbers?
The common knowledge is that you should hold back about 30% in terms of taxes.
Is that federal and?
Yes. What I'm gonna tell you is don't listen to me, listen to your tax professional.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna know more than I do. And they're gonna help you set up a system, whether you're paying quarterly, annually, and that's all gonna be based on the type of structure you put together for your business. Is your business an LLC? And if it is it an S corp? Is it all of the things and all of the stuff? Okay? So let's look at an example. There are a couple of different scenarios, actually, in your book, I believe. Here's two different scenarios here. So this is Jessica. Okay, Jessica's the agent. Jessica's got a couple of different business scenarios here for you. So Jessica sells this house for $9,000. 3% of that Here's her $9,000. Here's what she gets paid. She gets paid $5,760. Okay. Her personal bank account and savings has nothing in it, right? Because she's just taking that money and she's shoving it in her pocket. And she's moving to the next stage of her life. Over here, she takes this $9,000 commission. Here's her $5,760 check. And now she's got a business bank account, her personal bank account. She's got tax savings account. She's saved some of that for federal, some of that for self-employment tax. And then now $2,419 actually goes into Jessica's account. Now, a lot of people go, real estate agents make so much money. I'm gonna get into real estate because I'm gonna be rich. Right? Because they watch things like Selling Sunset, which is complete absolute garbage. That show makes me viscerally angry when I watch it. Okay? Because I literally scream at the TV and look, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay? So it would be great to go, yeah, $9,000. I make $9,000. End of the day, KW's getting their cut. Right past that, now we've made it to this $5,760. It would be easy to shove that in your pocket and go, cool, I'm gonna go buy those red bottom shoes like those girls on Selling Sunset. And what I'm gonna tell you is, first of all, that'll only buy 2 pairs of shoes, and that's gross. Secondly, if you're not doing all these other pieces of it, you're gonna end up with nothing. Less than nothing. Okay? Jessica's wallet at $2,419 is the safest place for her to possibly be. When people go, yeah, but that's not enough money to live on. It's not enough money to live on if you haven't planned your business. And if you're living closing to closing. Okay? But if you're saving money along the way, right? We've got business and personal bank accounts here. Notice that she's got this business bank account. This means she's leading with profit. Okay? She's putting money in there to grow her business. By the way, if you want to learn more about that, KWU has a great course called Profitability. Profitability. Agent financials. And they will dive into these agent financials. It's dry course. Okay. It's not super sexy to learn all about money and numbers, but you need it. All right. What you're gonna learn is that this money doesn't look like such a small slice when you have more business in your pipeline. But when we're on that real estate roller coaster of closing, nothing's coming. This feels like, what do you mean I only made less than a third of what I thought was coming on to me? Okay. Once again, all about mindset. And it's all about setting ourselves up to have a successful business. So now I want you to take it one step further when you talk about mindset and ask yourself, what is the purpose of business? What is the purpose of business? This book wants me to tell you that it's profit. Because with profit, you have the money to do good for your family and your community. I'm going to take it one step further and tell you that the purpose of business is to fund the perfect life.
But we'll never achieve a perfect life.
Won't the journey trying to do that be great?
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect,
perfect for you.
great life, wonderful,
You're
amazing life.
But you're perfect for you doesn't look like perfect for me. It doesn't look like her perfect. Right? We should always be on the journey to achieve the perfect life for us. Right?
Perfection.
I am going to ask you, Tammy, what is your mindset around the word perfect.
Trying to achieve perfection is setting a goal that may not be, I'm all about being the best that you can be.
Yeah,
I think perfection might make one feel. I don't know how to put this back. Just, I've always associated perfect with a level that you're not able to achieve perhaps.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't agree with that.
Because
Because my perfect looks a little messy. Perfect for,
Okay, so
Perfect
the
doesn't have-
societal's definition of perfect versus what is our to be perfect.
I
right,
think it's a mindset.
Okay.
perfect for me is a little messy,
Well, absolutely,
Right?
because I am extremely.
It's not,
perfect, so
you
It's
know,
quite messy. So what is, okay, I guess it has to do with the definition.
So not
What's
perfect.
definition is where I'm.
and what perfect
Coming
looks
from.
like for you. Right?
Well, you know, when I was raised, love was only given for perfection.
Yes.
So you have to be careful with the word perfect.
Interesting, okay,
Because if I were to be perfect in this career, I wouldn't sleep because I have to be perfect in order for it to be acceptable.
Exactly.
and then I would
But
say, then what is
understand
perfect for you?
Right, and I understand what you're saying. I can divide those because I've learned life. But before, I wouldn't have been able to divide those, and so I would have done whatever. Does that
Right.
make sense? Is that
Right,
what
but
you're
this is
thinking?
why mindset is so important, right? This is why keeping our eye on what our prize is what is so important.
Let's just get perfect for being an unattainable goal, a level
Right.
set by an unrealistic person
Mhm.
that is unattainable for me.
Yeah.
And you're correct, and I like that, because you're changing my perspective on. Perfect.
Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change.
I've been taught that no one is perfect, so therefore it's non-attainable. Because that's how I've been taught, so I have to change my mindset.
Cause I think you are perfectly you right now.
Right.
There's everything about you that's perfect. I don't believe God makes any mistakes.
It's just not-
Right, I agree
Right?
with that. It's what you're saying is perfect for you is changing my mindset.
Yeah.
That
Right.
those words are changing my mindset as you explain it.
Yeah. That's right. Alright, so when we talk about businesses though, they want me to tell you that profit is the purpose of your business, so let's go down that road, okay? So let's talk about the flow of money. So there's a difference between income and profit and how the way you think of it can change the outcome of your business. Okay, so if you've taken an accounting course, you probably know the formula that income minus expenses equals profit. Right? We've all heard this. Right? So while that is the formula to calculate it, and it's important, it's not the model we use. Okay. And this is how we can track our profit goals from month to month to build the business that we need that will help to fund that life we're looking for. Right? So we're on page 20.9 if you're wondering where. So if you flip to page 20.9, you're going to see that there are some questions. And first and foremost, when we talk about profit, how much money do I intend to have in my bank account at the end of the year? Have you ever started your year asking that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, great. Income. How many homes do I need to sell to achieve my profit goal? Okay, have we ever calculated that? Now I want you to think about your expenses. How can I minimize my expenses to maximize my net income? If I'm making money right now and I can't change my profit, right? My profit is a stuck number. What can I change? Expenses or income. It's much like when I tell you guys, in order to sell a house, there's only 3 things that come into mind. Price, condition, and location, right? I can't change the location, but I can change the condition or I can change the price. And if I'm not gonna change one, I gotta change the other. Because the profit doesn't change. Okay, I want you to think of it as a fixed in your business. Okay. So let's be really clear on where that real estate income comes from to make this happen. So we know it's listing income, right? Listing or sales income. Where else can we get income in our business? To help reach that profit goal. Where else?
We like for expenses.
Yeah, we can, maximize your net income by reducing your number of expenses. And we can't reduce the number of expenses to zero. So if I need more of this, where else can I get it other than person to person sales?
Having people share.
Profit share, referrals, right? Did you know that if you do enough sales at this company, that you actually earn the right to buy shares in our title company, our mortgage company? You earn the right for mailbox money. Okay. So think that through. These are other ways that we're adding to being able to have profits. So maybe we don't have to minimize these to the extent that we thought. Okay. Now let's talk about expenses. Expenses related to your business. Then there are two types. There's cost of sales and there's operating expenses. Cost of sale expense only occurs when you have a transaction. So an operating expense occurs every day in your business, and that's the difference. Cost of sale is directly related to the transaction.
Is
So-
it on the page?
It's not.
It's not. Okay, so cost of sale, it only occurs with a transaction. So for instance, a cost of sale then would be listing photography, right? Okay. Here's where some people get this twisted. They would call that a marketing expense, and they would put that under operating expenses. Okay. And it's important to understand the cost of being in business with your market center too, and where it falls in what you're doing. Okay. So understand that.
Do you all have, tools for tracking that you can recommend? As far as,
We have an entire chart of accounts.
you
Sure do.
can imagine that, I can't imagine Keller Williams having everything.
We absolutely have that. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, we have an entire chart of accounts for it.
So where do we get that?
Thank you, Renee.
It's in your Millionaire Real Estate Agent book.
Okay.
The chart of accounts is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Believe it or not, if you
Oh,
know
that's the very first thing they made was he had the people bring in the P and L and
That's
had
right.
an accountant and then they created that.
Yeah, the chart of accounts. Right. So the company dollar that agents pay in is determined by each market center, and it's gonna vary from market center to market center. So what's interesting to me is, and it varies market center to market center based on the average sale prices and all of those things that happen out there in our market. And it was really interesting to me when I first moved here, because the cap was so crazy low here in comparison to what I was used to. And yeah, I heard so many people complain about it. And then I was like, oh, it's gotta be because the home prices are so much less. Average sale price was around the same.
So,
Yeah. So what is your cap value here? What's the cap price? Do you guys know what you cap at?
I think 15 to 18, I think there's two different, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I came from a place where it was 21,
The lot broker.
and the average sale price was the same thing. Okay.
Some don't have caps still.
And I went, yeah, and there are some that have no caps whatsoever, right? So that means you're paying forever and ever and ever the end. And other people, you know, where we're on like a 70-30 split or whatever your splits might look like. There are some places that are, I'm gonna tell you right now, much different. 50-50 was an average where I came from. Right? So understand that royalty is also capped, which is crazy. A lot of brokerages, even in Keller Williams worldwide, royalty doesn't cap. So if you're outside of the United States and you're a KW agent, your royalty is forever. It only caps within the United States. Okay. And that is a rate that's determined by KWR. Okay. So when you're looking at it, there's a certain amount of your commission that goes to the market center, and there's a certain amount of your commission that goes towards royalties. You'll also have operating expenses and expenses that you incur to run your business, whether you're earning anything or not. Right? So those are going to be your agent bills, you know, that stuff. Here's the thing. They don't care if you're selling deals, like actually making deals go through. You still gotta pay that $100 to the market center. Because we still gotta keep lights on. Okay? And just to be clear, when you have no transactions, there's no true cost of sale, right? But you still have expenses that happen. Okay. So here's some best practices for you. This is on page 20.9 if you're wondering. Checklist of best practices for having smart money business. This list is a great way to put yourself on the path to ensure financial well-being. You can check off the first item on the list, because we did that today. Okay. Think about who you know that may be able to help you achieve your big money business, whether that be an accountant, a CPA, a lawyer. Who do you need to be in contact with to set yourself up for success?
What page did you say?
20.9.
20.9.
20.9, wait.
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally halfway down the page.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And if you go, but I don't know an accountant, I don't know a lawyer, I don't know anybody who's a CPA. Guys, this is an excellent opportunity to call your sphere. Okay? And once again, ask them who they recommend and understand that by having these vulnerable conversations with people, that they now feel like they are in business with you. Right? If I call someone who's in my sphere of influence and I say, hey, Joe Schmo, I'm putting together this business and I want to make sure I'm setting myself up for success. Who do you know that's a lawyer that can help me make sure I've got all my ducks in a row? And he recommends his friends that's a lawyer. Don't you think he now feels invested in my business? That's how we build loyalty. It's a great opportunity to ask for referrals too. Okay. So once again, set up a personal and business budgets. You can't have a business budget and not have a personal budget, right? Open additional bank accounts for taxes, expenses, and other savings. Okay? You may want to set up an LLC or whatever beforehand before you do that. So make sure that you are talking to accountants before you make these leaps. Okay? Use the chart of accounts.
Just found it, it's easy to find.
Purchase and download tax accounting software. Okay? Or get in touch with someone who's going to put all of that stuff in place for you, which is this person here. Right? Set dates to calculate and pay your estimated taxes and prepare for future insurance, savings, and investments. One thing that I always paid for in my business was an umbrella insurance account. Okay? Umbrella insurance really just covered I was out, I put an umbrella insurance over my business. Okay? So if I'm out with a customer falls down the stairs and breaks a leg. Okay? Could they sue the homeowner? They sure could. Could they come to me for damages because I told them to go into that house? They sure could. But now they're gonna go after my insurance for my LLC. Make sense? CYA. Cover your back. So think and act the wage you want before you earn it. Average is as average does. Good is as good does. And great is as great does. What you do is who you become. Okay. In order to have a smart money business, you need money, right? You gotta make money. And when you're making money, you can expect a great life if you're using it properly. Now you go out there acting a fool, you can make all the money you want to. And it does not mean it's going to equal a great life. Alright. So let's revisit your income goals. We talked about this again in session 1. So if you want to go back and look at what those you had set up for yourself in session 1, you can do that. So are you thinking and acting the wage you intended before you earned it? Now that you know a little more? Are there changes you'd like to make now after working on your success system? And you go, maybe this number looks different. With a quick calculation, who can tell me how many transactions they've got to complete each month to reach their net income? 4 transactions a month. Okay, great. Will you ever consider stretching your goal now that you know what it takes?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, great. So turn in your participant guide to 20.10 for me. Whatever you had written for your net income goal on day 1, let's say it was $100,000. Increase it by 50%. Make that 100 to 150 though. Write it down. And then recalculate everything from B and C with that $150,000 goal now. How many transactions do you have to complete each month?
I'm trying to get I haven't been working a lot, so and I've done a lot of low properties, which is put whenever I do calculations, I'm gonna have to do 70 homes a year just to.
Right.
I did a few 55s in that, so really working on getting my sell price.
Your average sale price up.
Absolutely.
What could you do to get your average sale price up? What can you control?
You control your target market.
Yes.
Marketing, what you're targeting there.
You can change who you talk to.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that's thinking the dream of this $50,000 Airbnb on the river. I can't turn it down. What do you tell a fast client?
I'll tell you what I used to tell my clients because I had a very specific vision for my business, and there were a lot of people I turned down.
I have a hard time with those. Service the whole family. So when
What I say to them is, thank you so much for thinking of me. And this isn't my specialty, but I would love to get you in connection with someone who can do this.
Okay.
And they're going to be able to hyper focus on this goal for you.
Okay, and I appreciate that, because I literally don't turn it down, especially when they're a prior client, they're a referral client. I mean, I've serviced the whole family.
Yeah.
And so essentially, let me.
Yeah. like I said, my business model for my business, I didn't have any paper in my business. It was all green. I did everything on either iPads or my tablets, my laptop. So if I met with someone and they didn't have email, they weren't comfortable e-signing, they weren't for me. I'd refer them to someone else. That's not my business model. That I typically found that more in our, in the 55 up communities that were prevalent in Central Florida,
Right.
right? Didn't mean I wouldn't work with people who are 55 up. It simply meant that it was immediately a red flag to me if I knew that somebody was at an age where this is going to be difficult for them. So I would have an honest conversation of this is my business model. If this level of service is what you're looking for, I'm not the right person. I will get you the right person though, because you deserve to have the experience you want.
And I appreciate that. I do need to set some boundaries because some of those do. I want to make sure and service them. I want to keep them in my referral network.
Yeah.
Because they're good clients. At the end of the day, you can focus a whole month of driving to remote areas. And Julie, this one stuck with me. When you say yes to them, you're saying no to somebody else.
Yeah, that's right.
And I need to really get this in my head.
I think I did the math wrong, cause I came up with a smaller number.
Okay.
You've done mine.
Maybe I did the first math
Okay.
wrong.
Well, what I want you guys to just think about is take the time to do this. You don't have to do it right here, but I want you to think about, could you stretch your goal? Could you achieve more than the cap you're putting on yourselves?
Absolutely. Henry says yes. You're correct, Henry.
I'm forcing him to be the best version of himself.
And he should.
Some days he goes in kicking and screaming, but here we are. Like, how many hours have you spent playing video games? When was the last time you brushed your teeth? Yeah, we have those conversations a lot. All right. So now that we know a little bit more about you have a fair understanding, at least, of your real estate finances. Can we all agree? Fair understanding where the money goes and where it should be going?
Yes.
Okay. So let's discuss how you get paid. First and foremost, confer with your market center administrator. Do you guys know who your market center administrator is? Jackie. Right. Or you can talk to your productivity coach. That's me. Hi. Or you can talk to your team leader. Or you can talk to your market center tech gurus like the Madisons of the world. Okay. We can point you in the right direction in terms of the process. But the second piece of this is that you do need to use commands. If you would like to get paid, you do have to use commands. Okay. You've got to submit your commission requests and opportunities. Okay. And this process does require that agents create an offer and accept an offer, and that things are submitted, and that they're submitted in time for you to get paid. If you submit everything in a timely fashion, you can actually get paid at this market center 12 to 24 hours max. Okay. And we have a goal as a market center to be able to get you paid at the closing table. And we are working towards that.
Really?
Yes.
Didn't Brittany get paid?
She got paid the same day. Yeah, same day.
And there are some companies that are doing that.
I'll be honest with you, in Florida, I got paid at the closing table every single time.
Yeah.
I never had to wait for a paycheck.
Meaning wired into your account at that point in time, the transaction.
Wired into my account.
Here, not.
Sometimes they would even hand me a physical check depending on the title company.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
But-
always got our checks, it's just when is your broker gonna?
No, I would get one made out to me for my
Is
commission.
that?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. The last firm I was at, they started, it's like this, you had to have everything submitted.
Mhm.
And pre-approved several days before, and then you could be paid.
Yeah, so that is our goal, is that here that we could get you there. So we're working towards that as a market center. Right now, we've got it down to 12 to 24 hours to get you that check, and I think that's pretty darn good if you've got your stuff.
Amazing.
Okay. Now, if you want more answers on this, you can go to, answers.kw.com. You can put in commission requests. They're gonna walk you through it step by step if you ever have questions on that. Otherwise, like I said, come in here, we'll link elbows and we'll go into it together and I'll show you how to do the thing. Okay. So I want to point out that when you go to your commission requests, you do have the opportunity directly from your commissions to donate to KW Cares and really any other organization you'd like to. It can be added in there. Okay. So once again, what's your big why? What's important to you? What's important to me is that I am creating a really great environment where every entrepreneur can thrive. And sometimes that means those that are less fortunate. Okay. So, what are your ahas from that?
The change around how old happens.
Change your
Ooh.
Now, understand, guys, this will be forever the hardest part of your business. Because if you are really great at selling real estate, none of this comes naturally to you. The money piece does not come naturally to you. It will forever be your Achilles heel.
Transaction coordinator is my very first move here at Keller Williams, because I despise, it takes everything I have. And I can run an offer so quick on any contract that's there, and I despise doing it. And put a listing, no time flat.
Yeah, it's really hard. It really is.
Oh, I have to force myself to, and I know that they're waiting, and I mean, it's just that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want you guys to know that it's okay if this doesn't come naturally to you. It's okay if you feel like you don't get it. It's hard. All of those things. It's not okay to not ask for help. That's the part that's not okay. So for those of us who have been, as she was saying before, ingrained in our lives that we shouldn't ask for help, that we should handle everything on our own, that is going to be really difficult for you to admit that you just don't know. But I promise you that when you get into the habit of being able to admit you just don't know, my God, opportunities will open up.
Some of my ahas, Beth, are exactly that. As I'm talking and I'm watching, I'm really watching my habits, the things that drain me, the things that are unnecessary. That's really bad habits when it comes to the writing of the offers. Things that I need to improve that can use my life.
Yeah.
I really work with smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And so it has been very enlightening, very beneficial.
I'm glad. So now let's talk about your success system. How do we be successful moving forward? Right? Do you guys think it's important to have a success system in place after Ignite? Yeah,
Fair.
I think so too.
I think it's non-negotiable. About being more.
Learning new processes is a process. Okay? And your daily success system has just been a new process for you. Right? And you've been learning it while you're in it, which is why it feels gross. Right? You're not liking it. What I'm going to say though is, in the same way, if you've ever maybe worked out a lot, when it becomes a habit, if you stop doing it, you feel worse than when you were doing it. The first few weeks you start going to the gym are the worst few weeks. You hate it so much. And then by about week 4 or 5, if you stop going, you'll feel worse when you didn't go than when you did. And it's going to be the same thing with the success system that you create for your business. Okay? Listen, the one that we have in place for your conversations, your contacts added, your handwritten notes, your interactions on the internet, all of that stuff, these are proven to work. And I will go as far as to say that Renee hit the nail on the head. It doesn't have to look the way we've told ourselves it has to look. Okay? Handwritten notes are an age-old way of doing business. Do they still work? Heck yeah, they still work.
Mm-hmm.
But I will also tell you that, like, my goddaughter is like 24. If I sent her a handwritten note, she would think I'd fallen and hit my head. Okay? She would instead much prefer I just dropped in her DMs on Instagram and said thanks.
But she might not.
No, she will.
When I send them like,
Yeah, I think it depends on knowing your customer, right?
True.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
like your customer.
Correct. If I
Like,
send
I'm imagining Blair being like,
Yeah.
okay.
My 17-year-old would
Right?
think I was crazy if I
Yeah,
wrote
you're
her a
right.
handwritten note.
An 8-year-old called me up and said, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got a note in the mail from you, what the hell was that?
that's right. It's about
And I said, did it make you feel good? Did you like it? She said, well, so you gotta tell me, but I mean, you just never said this.
yeah, that's right.
Now.
But and that's what it comes down to. It's not about communicating with them in the way that we say they should be communicated with. But instead, it's about communicating with them the way they want to be communicated with. So it's not the golden rule anymore, it's this platinum rule of treating them the way they want to be treated,
And no meaning.
right? But we've got to know how they want to be treated to do that.
True.
So trust me, you'll have some wins. You'll find some areas of improvement. Okay, you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna have somebody call you and be like, why the heck did you send me a letter? Right? But this is once again why tracking your business is so important. When you have those interactions, right, and you now know that the last thing somebody wants you to do is call them on the phone, stop calling them on the phone. I've had agents, I've been learning this just from agents in my program. There are agents that were showing up regularly, but stopped showing up. And I said, why is that? Started doing some research and finding out a little more. Apparently, I call them and communicate with them too often. Okay? I always thought the more communication, the better, the more the clarity, right? Communicate with people the way they want to be communicated with. So do I copy them on every email now? Nope, sure don't. I will call them once a quarter if that's what they want. Call them once a month if that's what they want. But they gotta tell me, and then I'll make note of it, and I'll treat them the way they wanna be treated. Okay? So, and this is honestly for you alone, to be honest, okay? You're the only one that's gonna know your customers. You're the only one that's gonna know the business you wanna run, right? Because in some cases, you might just go, you know what, that's not how I run my business, and I'm actually not gonna do that. Right? And that's okay too. Right? I've had agents that have said, well, can you email me every morning and just remind me to do these like 5 things? Like, absolutely not. Hard, solid pass. Not gonna be doing that. Okay. I will not be calling you every day. Or I know every Friday I'm supposed to give you my numbers, but I keep forgetting to do that. So can you just call me on Friday and get them? He knows. No, mom's not playing that game. Okay. All right. So we've talked a lot about accountability here too, right? Accountability is kind of a dirty word in real estate. Everybody says they want it, but no one actually wants it. Right? Accountability feels often like a personal attack. By the way, if accountability feels like a personal attack, it's because you're not doing the activities you were supposed to be doing. Newsflash. Okay. So like if I'm talking to you and I'm like, cool, so how many contacts did you make this week? And you're like, and then you run to somebody else and you go, that is so mean to me. It felt like an attack, but I asked, it was not meant to be an attack, but it felt like an attack because you weren't doing the calls or you weren't making the contacts, right? That's the end of the day. But accountability is so important because it keeps your mindset focused, right? It does keep you focused. It keeps, and believe it or not, it will keep you positive. But it's all about mindset. Okay? Accountability can remind you of your big why. If I say, Julie, how many contacts did you make? And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't make any contacts. But then she might then go, okay, well, but my big why is to fund this perfect life. Now I gotta make those contacts. Right? All of those things. And honestly, accountability will challenge you. Okay? I should not be, as your coach, your favorite person. Okay? There should be days that you want to punch me in my dumb face. Okay? And it's because it's uncomfortable. Accountability is uncomfortable. Right? But we know that growth comes from uncomfortable spaces. All right? It's in the same way that a parent shouldn't be their child's best friend. Okay? If I am his best friend, that means I am probably not giving him the feedback he needs to grow into the person he needs to be. Right? I like him. I love him. But my job is to not like him and love him only. It's to mold him into an adult. It's my job here as your coach is to help mold you into the person you need to be to fund the business that's going to fund your perfect life. Right? So I'm not always going to be your best friend. I'm not always going to be your favorite person. And I'm going to sleep at night. I'm okay with that. Okay? Understand though that not anytime I have a conversation with you, it's never out of malice. It is never coming from a place of contempt. If I'm having a conversation with you about accountability, it is for your own growth. Okay? And you know what? Working with a coach doesn't work for you because you don't like this level of accountability, that's fine too. There are other ways to find accountability. That can be an accountability partner. Right? So maybe it's just another agent you guys hold each other accountable. Or maybe it's a friend, or kids make great accountability partners, by the way, because they will remind you of exactly what you said.
Yeah, they have to hire me.
Yeah. So, or a mentor, get yourself a mentor, right? Maybe a more experienced agent that can help to hold you accountable. Or if you're at the production level, maybe even a KW Max coach. But there are also tools that can help you do this, right? So if you have met with me in our productivity coaching program, you know that we have talked about the GPS, the 411, all of those things. We've talked about time blocking, probably. I probably showed you my crazy time blocked calendar. You've looked well overwhelmed by it, and yet it is what helps to keep me focused. I will tell you though, if you look up here under the list of people that can be your accountability partner, choose a partner who is comfortable with discomfort. Choose an accountability partner that is okay with telling you what you really need to hear. Choose someone who's willing to be uncomfortable and willing to let you sit in your discomfort. Okay? Don't choose an accountability partner that is only going to tell you nice things about yourself. Okay? And you may think you can't afford a coach. And you know what? Maybe you can't right now. But what I will tell you is that paying for a coach of all of these, paying for these coaches is the only one that's proven to have worked. Okay? Highly successful agents have coaches. In the same way that highly successful people doing anything have coaches, whether that's being an athlete, whether that is, being somebody who is trying to even get their life on track. They hire life coaches, right? So I want you to choose the type of accountability that works for you going forward, the type of partner that works for you going forward. But understand that these tools will work no matter whom you choose or no matter how you want to be held accountable. The tools will always work. Okay? So what ahas do you guys have? Well, everybody's talking at once. No? Okay.
Well, once I'm speechless.
For once you're speechless, I love that. Well, if anything you take away, it should be that you're learning based. Please understand that a basis for learning is the only thing that's gonna keep you focused on the goals, okay? And you've already been learning about the market. So honestly, learning about the market can happen right here in your market center, but there's certain types of learning that can't. Okay? Learning about new ideas, new techniques, those kinds of things aren't always going to happen right here. Okay? Sometimes we have to leave the market center to get that knowledge, whether that be our board or state, the state governing board to teach us things, or whether that is going outside our region, even. Maybe it's going to regional events, or maybe it's going outside of our region to learn something, to get a new idea. Or going to our national events, like we've got family reunion coming up, I leave on Friday, right? Alright? But guys, these can be expensive. Alright? Will they propel your business to new heights? Probably, yeah. And yet there are opportunities right here within our region, as long as you're willing to get in the car to drive to them. So the Ohio Valley region does host learning right here. Okay? And anyone that is a member that is part of the Ohio Valley region for Keller Williams can attend that. Right? So when you're choosing what educational opportunities you're going to partake in, you should not just be looking at our training calendar. You should be looking at the training calendar for Bluegrass Realtors. You should be looking at the training calendar for KREC. You should be looking at the training calendar for the Ohio Valley region. And that is how you're going to grow big.
So you can attend
Yeah.
the Ohio.
Valley
What
region.
about the Louisville,
Louisville's in the Ohio Valley region, yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Interesting, and their calendars are on.
If you go to the Ohio Valley region online, you'll just type in Keller Williams Ohio Valley region, you're gonna be able to it'll pop up and you'll be able to see the training calendar.
Wonderful, that'd be
Yeah.
fun time.
Yeah.
I have a question that just may sound really stupid.
Valley.
Other people would know, but
Yeah.
can you shadow more seasoned agents to see how they?
Yeah. You can.
Okay,
And I'm gonna tell you, it's not always your best course of action.
it's not.
No. Because I know a lot of seasoned agents who have developed some really bad habits.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you wanna shadow someone, come and see me and I can pair you with someone. Because I know who's running the business the way it should be run.
Okay, all right, that's a good idea.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this Ohio Valley, can we find them on Facebook?
Yeah.
Ohio Valley
Region for Keller Williams. Yep.
Region.
Alright, so understand some of these are gonna have a fee, right? If you want to attend new learning opportunities, just know that. Honestly, if I could tell you any of them to attend. If I were you, I would focus on profitability, that agent financials that we talked about. Focus on what's called the business planning clinic. It will be coming up, the business planning clinic. Make sure you set aside some time and money to attend that, because your mind will be blown. Okay,
Really?
Yeah.
So local here?
it's the region hosts it, we host it, yeah, there's lots of people that host it. It typically happens about September, October each year.
And Bold is coming up.
Bold is coming up as well.
The most is playing, it's free.
It depends on where it's taught and who it's taught by.
Okay.
Like for instance, I will travel wherever I have to take it by Gene Rivers. Gene Rivers is an incredible instructor. He's actually out of Tallahassee, Florida. But when he teaches that class, I've taken it from him 6 times.
Is that what?
And I will keep taking business planning clinic from Gene Rivers. Absolutely.
Is that a man or a woman?
Man,
So he.
Gene, Gene Rivers. Yeah. Alright. So here's a few more things that you can learn. places you can get stuff.
I had 2 classes on Thursday that are free through, Bluegrass Village.
Yeah.
Online.
Even better, even better.
Thank you, a ton of stuff. We'll figure out.
All right, once again, if you liked this class, my name was Beth.
Hey, Henry, should we give her a standing ovation?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Beth.
A little embarrassing, but thank you. You know my name, it's not gonna show up, so put instructor not in drop down, and then you can say this was Ignite, plan your future, okay? If you take anything out of this entire thing that happened today, I really want you guys to focus on our mission statement for Keller Williams. I'm sure you've heard us say it 100,000 or more times. And it's this. Okay? Our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Here, that's the QR code.
I will. Your path is not going to end here, though. Please understand that. There are other destinations on your journey, and to have a life worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving, believe it or not, that's the most important part. Okay? So after our time together, I want you to be able to picture what that part looks like. What is that legacy you are leaving? And it doesn't have to be financial. So many people go, oh, legacy, that's money I'm leaving to someone else. It's not. It's not, guys. Your legacy can be what you've taught others. Your legacy can be different from your success. Money is success. Legacy is significance. Okay? And if you're finding yourself in a position where you no longer feel fulfilled by just making money, and instead you want to focus on that legacy worth leaving piece of that, come see me. Please. That's why I do what I do. Because there was a day a switch flipped, and I realized this was more important than any of that. Okay? And if you want to figure out how you can leave a legacy worth leaving, we can map that out together. Okay? So yes, here's your QR codes. You really want that. Otherwise, let's go to graduation. Let's graduate.
What's the last name again?
Gravilla, Gravilla.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That was,
Oh, I'm glad you guys had a great time.
yes. I've enjoyed every one of your classes. You are very talented.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I teach this class because I love it. I teach this class because I'm passionate about it. But more than anything, I teach this class because I got so much out of it when I took it. When I took Ignite 11 years ago, I was super scared. I had just quit a very successful job as a technology project manager at Disney. I had helped roll out a multi-billion-dollar project. And I just didn't love it. I just didn't love it. I loved the company. I didn't love what I was doing. And so I decided I wanted to find something I loved doing. And I came into real estate and I immediately was like, oh my God, what if I screwed up? What if I totally screwed up? I gave up this job that had a 401k and benefits and all of this stuff to do this thing. And I started taking Ignite, and Ignite reminded me that I had a tribe. I had people in this with me. And it helped me also really be able to see the future and understand the future a little better and make it feel less uncertain. Okay. And then I found out I was pregnant with him like 3 months later. That was not the plan. He was not the plan, but he turned out. Well,
What?
I mean, I guess that's still up in the air. We've got a while. I think that's for that.
Yes.
Yes. But he's the same age as my real estate career. So it's been interesting to watch the two of them grow together.
Oh, wow.
Your
Yeah.
real estate career is 10 years old.
Yeah.
GRABILLA.
Yeah, that's me.
Just want to make sure that's spelled right.
Yeah.
I love my phone, cars.
And like I said, one of the things that I'm passionate about is instructing. I do want to work toward my goal for the year is to work towards being a Keller Williams certified instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys do have feedback on my delivery style, things that I can do better, things I can work on, I want to hear it. Okay, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Let me know. Okay. All right, so let's talk about graduation. Graduation.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So what does graduation mean for you guys?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm going to meet London short.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, before you go,
Do I get a little certificate?
you certainly do, ma'am.
Graduation to me, I said I'm not coming up because I forgot my clothes hanging in the door at the home, that's fine.
It's okay.
She don't wear.
I want you to know though, that not everyone gets one of these, okay? You only graduate successfully from Ignite by attending 75% of all the trainings. And you only graduate Ignite if your leadership team feels like you've actually put in an effort. Okay? So over the weekend, by the way, while I was at Great Wolf Lodge, celebrating this kid's 10th birthday, I was on my phone also going through the list of who's doing this great, who's at the top level, right? Who needs more help? And I want to, because this means whether or not you can be considered to be on teams. Okay. Yeah, really. This also means whether or not in the future you can be considered to teach courses here.
Wow.
Okay.
And
So people go, I'm not gonna take Ignite, that's silly. What a waste of time. It's only a waste of time if you allow it to be. By the way, this also opens opportunities for you for referral. So if somebody calls into our market center and they're looking for a specific agent, we're gonna consider the agents who have completed Ignite successfully.
So in sense, when you complete Ignite, you have to have your license already.
You do,
Okay,
so close.
I know. I sit here listening to you going, I'm gonna see I get a certificate, cause I have not got my license.
Yeah, but guys, this is something big. It's not something to take lightly. You put a lot of work into this. And you should be really proud of your achievements. Okay?
I'm
Renee? You're sure. Yay, you graduated.
Congratulations, ladies, and Miss Carol.
What'd you say?
I said congratulations.
Oh, I didn't get a certificate.
Okay.
You completed.
Oh, I did complete it.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You
More
did.
than 75%.
You don't have to have the certificate when it comes to the function.
No, but
Licensed yet.
if you're at the point though that you've graduated and you want to figure out the next steps for yourself, maybe you're graduated and this has opened some doors for you or opened your eyes to some areas of opportunity in your business, please come and see me. Okay? Please come and make time to meet with Tara, whoever it might be, that you have a better connection with. We don't care who you talk to. We care that you know that you have a support team here that can help you plan out what your next steps are. And your next step, believe it or not, doesn't even have to be being a realtor. What? Crazy. Guys. Hi. See what I do here? This is not me buying and selling houses, yet I have a very successful career in real estate. Okay?
Teacher.
I'm a teacher. Right? I'm a coach. But the other people in our market center, our leadership team, they all have very successful careers in real estate and they're not helping people buy and sell houses. It's okay, right? So if you go, you know what, I'd like to learn more about other roles within Keller Williams that I'm compatible for. We have an assessment for that. It's called the KPA. It's the Keller Personality Assessment.
Can somebody send us links for that? I would love to take that, or where do we locate that to be able to do that?
If you want to do that, we can send one to you. Understand it's a 45-minute long assessment. Please take it all in one sitting. Please take it all in one sitting. And completely undistracted. Okay. It is going to allow us to see your compatibility with different roles within the company. And it doesn't necessarily mean, let's say it comes back that your compatibility is that you're not real high with being an agent. It doesn't mean you can't be an excellent agent. I've met great mega agents that come in really low, but what it means is that's not naturally how you behave. So it shows us where we're gonna have to work harder to teach you things that might be a little bit more difficult for you to pick up, comprehend, different types of trainings that we can prescribe to you. But it may also show you a role that you didn't know existed, that you might go, oh my gosh, that's the thing I should be doing.
We talked, Sheridan Sims was telling us about an HR the other day in the MREA.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right. That's,
Yeah.
it's not a bigger event. I would love to take that. I'm gonna review your contract too, and I'll probably make an appointment after family reunion.
Fair
When
enough.
you come, I noticed you're on the calendar for Wednesday
yeah,
after you come back.
yeah. I am. I'm going to be our group coaching for
Uh-huh.
is open to anyone, by the way, if you want to come to it. Group coaching. I'm going to be recapping all the things to bring back from February.
Okay, would you mind if I sat in on one personal coaching just to test, to see
Yeah,
what
why?
you're doing? And then the family reunion would be what we live too.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody has been, every instructor has been amazing, but I had to go to London.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Guys,
you.
I do have some cupcakes up there for y'all.
And they're delicious.
So please enjoy it Sunday, take some time.
They're delicious.
And I'm here if you've got any questions, okay? Those of you out there in Zoom land, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you, Beth, and have a wonderful time at family reunion.